Hello there, commanders, and welcome back to National Cup. We are in round 3, match 2, battle 1, France versus Russia. We are on Oasis, so most likely the Russian map of choice. Let's remove the fog of war and see what both teams are up to. At the moment, Russia is in the first place with 6 points. France is on the last place. Well, tied for 5th. No, not anymore, because the Polish team managed to tie last time. So now they are in sole position of the 6th. They were 5th before this round started. So they are at the moment at 0 points, and let's see if they will be able to change that. Both teams sending roughly equal forces across the board. The Russian team committing a little bit heavier onto C. Now the French team is committing to the right flank quite heavy as well. They're waiting for each other's infantry to push together, not for the tall grass alone. They're also sending forces here through the water, trying to find some flanks. They should be spotted any time now by this infantry waiting onto A. But if the French team is trying to rush A, as the Russian team is not really looking to defend it. See over here, a huge fight is going to erupt anytime soon on top of this hill. There we go. Russian repeating crossbows firing volleys onto the French infantry, and the French repeating crossbows of their own respond kindly onto the repeating crossbows of Russia. Probably no vision has been secured over here, as they're behind a little bump in the terrain. So the French team using the terrain advantage to their advantage very, very nicely, and winning the range duel thanks to that. And whoever wins the range duel will then be able to support this huge infantry blob fight with very, very powerful repeating crossbow volleys. So this engagement is going to look to go the way of France. Can the Russian team find some routes? No, the war cry and side flank is not enough. Just one morale, but just not quite making it. But the Russian team is also sending some dogs around over here. They're just in superior numbers. They're also sending the units through C, flanking again onto E. They have quite a huge numbers advantage, and the repeating crossbows still haven't resolved the range duel, not quickly enough, and the infantry and cavalry was faster on this rotation. And now their Russian team is surrounding the French team. But the French team has captured A, as predicted. Well, there were like 7-9 units over here of the French team versus 2, so they're not even worth covering, as that was quite obvious how that is going to go. C is going to be unlocking 20 seconds. The French team is already rushing from A to C, trying to maybe make it in time. And E has been... no, it's still in the control of France, but has been contested by dogs. But the Russian team is pushing quite heavily. Now it depends on whether or not the French team can maybe heal up and respawn some of their players. None of them are dead. Now there we go. Now the first player is dead, so he is on 30, maybe 40 seconds timer, depending on whether or not he leveled up. Probably not. So 30 seconds until he respawns. The French team needs to hold the point until then. But a unit of cavalry that was holding it is routed. The pikes are not on top of the point. Neither is the infantry. Neither are the repeating crossbows. Well, now they are. The pikemen have made their way on top of E. Trying to contest that. The healing zone is going to be denied by the Russians. There we go. The infantry respawn. Now they do have open path. There's only one unit that could really prevent them from reaching E, but E is being captured. It can be flipped before this infantry arrives. Trying to sneak past just the right limit over the point. Care about nothing else. You need to make it on top. But the units that are on top from the Russian team are rushing ahead and stopping them. E has been flipped, so no healing, no respawning for the French team, and their pikes will not be able to respawn in here. So it is an equal trade back and forth. Has C been captured? No, C has not been captured. It was very, very, very close to being captured by the French team. Has just barely made it in time. Now they are surrounding the Russian pikes. Let me say this. Yet hold the line is active, making sure that the pikes are not routed, but they can just simply be cut down as the French team is fighting flank after flank. There we go, pikes routed, only one last unit left on top of C. Contesting that, but the Russian team is sending 2 units from 2 sides, undetected yet by the French team. They need to, now they see them, they need to respond. There we go. And a little bit late, the Russian team will find another unit on top of C. But the French team has still quite a large force over here. They need to find and route these units, need to find the flanks. This Russian team is sending multiple units now over from E as they have healed up. Now they're healed up on the hill and now descending onto C. So we are seeing quite a similar dynamic that we have seen in the finals of the War Games in the tournament between SUNTZU and White Wolves. None of the players from those teams involved over here. Oh no, Blinton is here in the French team. Well, there we go. So he is relieving some sort of a deja vu as both teams have traded their flank points and now are contesting C. Russian team is still very close. Like, as soon as they remove all French teams from C, they capture it like within 1 second. The French team needs much more time to do the same, to capture C for themselves. Although it will be flipped neutral immediately, but they also need to get the entire capture through. The cavalry of Blinton, it is Chinese cavalry, not Scipio infantry, so no oath available in here. But they're facing dogs, so dogs will not be able to, or rather handless, will not be able to do that much damage. And the French team is looking to close onto the repeating crossbows, getting surrounded here behind this little cliff with no place to escape. The dogs are trying to save them, but more and more infantry and cavalry is making their way. Cavalry could really just disengage and charge into here, kind of a misplay by Blinton, but he's sending his infantry over there to do that anyway. Repeating crossbows still finding quite powerful volleys into the French infantry, but from the side of Russia they have only 2 units left on top of the point. The pikes are taking care of these sword units, but they will not be able to really cut them down that quickly. This one needs to get flanked and routed. And the French infantry is working on the sort of sleeping. There we go. Trying to find a rear flank and a side flank. It will not be a side flank. There is a rear flank, but no side flank. That's a misplay by the French team. But as the unit is going to get cut down below 10 soldiers, it will sooner or later die. Now the cavalry from the Russian team is getting on top of the point. One of the infantry and cavalry has been routed. So Russian teams still fighting and fighting one unit after another. Repeating crossbows even being sent. Okay, they have 26 units, 26 soldiers of Scipio cavalry on top of the point, sort of trying to make its way over there. And squeezing past a unit over here through the tall grass, probably using the cliff to outmaneuver. And another full unit of infantry has been put on top of C. But they weren't here for that second, for that brief second, and now the point has been flipped and C capture has been gone a little bit towards the French team. But as all of that is happening, C still heavily, goddammit, so heavily contested. Russian team has launched an attack onto the French base. The French still looking largely in control, but the Russian teams keep sending one unit after one unit, finding some gaps in the French formation and squeezing past one unit after another. So the French team cannot cap C, but the point, the base capture is going through. The French team still ahead in points by 200, as all that's going on is right now for C and, well, the base itself. E, B, A and D completely uncontested, although now that this player has died and respawned at the base, is going to try to recapture A, as both teams keep committing units to C. But the Russians now, well, they don't have to really commit to C, as E allows them to try to contest the base. It's still 3 units versus 0, so the capture is going through slowly but surely. Healing zone and the spawning zone, right, if they try to recall, is denied by 2 units of Russian infantry, but the French pikes are making their way on top of the base and they will not really be stopped. They cannot be stopped by anything. Dogs, well, just handlers arriving, they're recalling their dogs, and now the dogs will be able to deal with the pikes, but they have already made their way on top of the point, and they need to enable to do so for the rest of their infantry. They can just sneak past over here and walk it over the point, and the French team should be fine. Now they're trying, okay, send only 3 units onto the base, and it should be fine. 7 versus 5, it will slow down, as we need to cut down these 2 units so that the rest of us can heal up and reinforce the base as well. 6 versus 4 right now on top of the base. French even trying to make their repeating crossbows go onto there, or not really. Yeah, they're going to try to heal up, because that's the last unit. But that's why they cannot heal, because those 2 units of the Russian team are over there. Trying to melee down the point. No, you're not. That's not going to work. You're not going to flank it. Okay. Flanking system works in mysterious ways. But now we have 5 to 5 units on top of the base. Russian team has now committed quite heavily. They have one C as well. French, yeah, they don't have any more reinforcements as they have been forced to go back to the base. So that's the way the Russian team is going to win C, as the last unit of the French team is going to be cut down anytime now. There we go. Oh, it has actually whipped itself into routing. Can they route the pikes here as well? No, they can't. Free morale. There we go. Side flank has been applied, coupled with war cry and other flanks. The pike unit has been cut on. 8 versus 6 inside the base for the Russian team. So the base capture is going slow, but it is also close to completion. The European crossbows need to get inside. 7 to 6. And where are these pikes going? Your base is about to get captured. Get inside the base. What the hell? 4 units now being chased away, trying to go back and heal. And from 7 to 6, it is going to become like 7 versus 2 or 3 or 5. Okay, yeah, the European crossbows have made it away, but cavalry charge is now going to force them away. Well, they're not running away. They need to stay inside the point. And now they are running away. One of them got routed. Pikes are still... Why are we going? See, your base is about to get captured. 6 versus 2, 5 versus 1, 6 versus 1, 7 versus 1, 8 versus 1, and the base is going to be captured by the Russian team. Quite a surprising end. Honestly, the French team, they could have defended. Yes, they have given up C, obviously, for that. They needed to. The Russian team outmaneuvered them by going for the base capture. And the French team just barely failing, preventing the Russians from getting out of C point. Because if they have captured C point at any point in time before the base captures went through, they would be able to retreat, they would be able to heal up, they would be able to attack the Russian team from behind using the healing zone that is being provided by C. All of that would have happened, and the French team could honestly win this battle, despite, you know, the difference in standings. Russian team being so far undefeated, French team still not finding a single victory in the tournament yet. And well, we'll see our next battle. That was the Russian map of choice, so we'll see if on the French map of choice they will be able to perform better. I have a strong guess that this is going to be Teutoburg Forest, as we have seen so far, but maybe they will elect to go for something else. But anyway, I'll see you there in 2 days. And you can also help us bring Total War Arena back to West by doing you already know what. But until then, I'll see you on Arenas Battlefields Commanders.